Attention Cloud9 shoppers, this is the Superstory Podcast, a Superstore fan podcast with Matthew Haas and Michael E. Cullen II.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Superstory Podcast.
Bum, 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 bum.
My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is my co-host,
Matthew Haas.
Dum Dum.
Attention Cloud9 Associates, it is now time for orientation.
Anyways, today's episode that we're covering is from Season 1, Episode 8. It's called The Wedding Day Sale. Boom, boom.
Wedding done. Dun, dun, bum. Yeah.
So, anyways, this episode was directed by Victor Neal Jr.
Cool guy.
Nelly Jr.
Good
Sorry,
friends with them.
Victor Nelly Jr.
Oh, Nelly.
I'm
just
sorry.
talking about Nelly.
Yeah, we were. That's funny. Nelli
Oh, okay.
Jr. Anyways, I thought it said Neil, but I read it too fast. It was written by Sierra Teller Ornelas. I could really butcher these names, and I'm sorry if you guys are listening. Also, God, I love when stuff pops up on my screen. Okay, anyways. It was written by just basically Sierra Teller, and of course it was created by Justin Spitzer. Let's get into the little bit orientation brass tacks here.
Sure.
What happened in this episode here, Matthew?
Quite a lot, actually. So it's basically, it's about the wedding day sale, and it's Glenn, of course, planned this huge thing, and they're not even letting the customers in the store right away because they're still trying to make adjustments to their display. And then, it's like a stereotype of all these women, rushing in to buy wedding stuff, which, you said doesn't ever happen. But at least in your store.
I mean, the store I work at, we don't have a wedding day sale.
Right.
So
it kind of goes from there. Like, Dina wants to get out of the store, so she kind of has an excuse to do so when Bo, who's Cheyenne's fiance or boyfriend, freaks out when he realizes how much, being a parent, how much responsibility that
and how
takes.
much it's going to cost.
Right, because he thought, it'd be cheap, I guess. I don't know. So then she kind of use that as an excuse to leave the store and search for him. Meanwhile, Jonah and
Amy goes with her to look.
Yes,
too,
right.
so,
Amy goes, and then Jonah and Garrett get into this insane competition about what Cheyenne should choose for her wedding, like what kind of dress and what kind of pillows and all this kind of junk.
Yeah,
and they're really going at it. I mean, like
Jonah wants to be more, I don't know, untraditional.
That's Jonah. His whole thing.
Yeah, more progressive, and
Garrett called him out, said something like about was it like a Wiccan space queen or something like that. So there's like some kind of B plots and stuff like that, but that was like kind of the main theme was Jonah and Garrett, their kind of competition, and then Amy and Dina's road trip.
Yeah, and then the only other subplot was was Glenn realizing that this couple that came in were a gay couple because Mateo pointed it out to him, who is gay, and so Glenn's got this whole thing where he wants to make a display for gay weddings, which was just kind of cool. I like the fact that it's not what you expect from the character. You expect him to be this stodgy, gay equals bad sort of Christian, but he's not, which is cool.
He tries super hard.
Yeah.
Super hard.
Ooh.
To be like tolerant and progressive.
Yeah.
And, like, even though he's very like quirky at it most of the time, it's like he tries like so hard. Like most people wouldn't do that. Like,
So okay, that was the basic outline there for you folks.
Attention Cloud9 Associates, our employee of the week is...
So, who was your favorite character in this episode here, Matt?
I mean, it's always going to be Garrett no matter what, but I think Jonah and Garrett their B plot,
Yeah.
I think, was my favorite thing of just them, trying to decide for Cheyenne what she should do for her own wedding.
Yeah.
She doesn't even really care. They're like, just get to the point where they're not even talking to her anymore. They're just talking to each other, and she just happens to just be standing there.
Yeah, I liked that too. I mean, I think I'm going to agree with you this week. I really think that the best part of the whole episode was basically Garrett and Jonah's little back and forth and stuff. I mean, with a close second actually being the Mateo and Glenn plot. I think that was kind of cool too. I mean, those two sets of dynamics were interesting, I mean, but Garrett and Jonah are always good together in every episode of the show, in my opinion. The way that they're friends, but they also have such different views on the world sometimes. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. I don't know.
Hey, folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
We just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All Too Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So
it was a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it?
Real.
Yeah, they're spelled differently, folks. You can guess which one I said which way. Anyways, so sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast you're listening to right now. With me, as always, is
Matthew Haas.
Yeah, and we're here to tell you about our really cool other podcast called All Too Real 2. And what do we do on that show, Matt?
We watched the greatest direct-to-video sequels of all time, and then we report on them.
And we also talk about other pop culture cool things like video games and conspiracy theories and other awesome things. So if any of that sounds fun to you and you enjoy hearing my voice and Matt's voice,
as
tune
you
in.
should. As you should.
I mean, of course. Tune in anywhere you get podcasts to All Too Real 2. Bye-bye.
Attention Cloud9 shoppers, today's special is...
What was, in your opinion, Matt, the best scene in the episode and why?
I think it's when Jonah and Garrett are trying to choose dresses for Cheyenne. And Jonah, of course, picks out some green dress, to be different or whatever. And then Garrett picks out just like a traditional white dress. And then he's like, oh, of course, you'd pick out the, white dress, which is uninspiring, unoriginal. And then, that's, your tastes are more like my grandma's taste. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, yours is more of like a Wiccan space queen or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they go on, like, oh, yeah, I bet, at your wedding, you'd want to. Was someone driving a beige Camry with the driver named Matthew, the white guy named Matthew. It's like, what is that supposed to mean? He's like, It's like, no, you don't know. It's like, what's...
If I have a wedding, I think I'm going to have you drive a beige car.
Yeah.
Just because your name's Matthew.
We can reenact that scene.
But anyways, I think my favorite scene actually is probably the scene at the gun range, actually, with Dina and Amy. When Amy reveals that she had a cop uncle who taught her how to fire a gun. It was just kind of a nice little surprise to that, layer to that character. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then when we find out afterwards that I just like the whole thing where Bo has a resume. They find Bo at the gun range, and Bo has a resume, and we find out his name is Bo Derek Thompson. And he has this resume, and it's got all these other things set up in it, like, you know, that were like templates from the form, you know, and saying he's like the editor of Vogue and worked at Johns Hopkins Hospital and stuff like that. And you know, and Amy's listening to him, and he's like trying to go out and get a job, and she's like, I'm actually impressed. And then Dina's like, this is all lies.
Yeah,
I like that scene. That was funny.
Attention Cloud 9 associates, it's time to grab your go backs.
The next section is go backs, which is basically, are there any scenes you would have done differently in this episode, Matthew?
No, not this one. I don't really find anything that was not that funny. Usually I can find at least something.
Yeah.
But not this one.
I'm almost going to have to agree. I think overall it was good. I mean, I think they could have possibly, I don't know, done maybe a little bit more with the Glenn and Mateo scenes, but those were, I guess it's the C plot of the episode, so it's kind of like you can't really do that. I mean, I think the whole, I liked the whole dynamic of the episode. I liked how we kind of almost everybody's separated into couples in a way, you know, like, you know, pairs of people, not couples, but you know what I mean? Pairs of people. Which is interesting for a wedding episode. You got pairs of people.
Yeah. And interesting, too, because Cheyenne's the only one that's not with her other half.
Yeah.
Which I thought was... I guess I could say that maybe the only thing is that they kind of seemed like they phased her out midway through the episode. That she wasn't really... Like, she was in it a lot during the beginning, had a lot of lines, and then halfway through, she was just kind of like in the background, basically listening to Jonah and Garrett argue with each other about what she should do for her wedding.
Makes sense. I mean, it's interesting too, because I don't know if Nicole Bloom is like not available a lot, but there are some episodes that she's not even in.
Okay.
She's like the only actress in the main cast that I noticed is not even in some episodes.
Oh.
There's already been like one this season, in season 1, but then like in future seasons, I know that there's some episodes too that she's completely absent from them, or very, very sparse in the episode.
That makes sense. I think they may have actually even addressed that a little bit, maybe even though no one really said it in a show, but like when it was revealed that she also works at Target.
Oh yeah, like in a future season.
So maybe,
who knows?
Maybe that's like why she's not there sometimes.
Yeah,
at Target. I don't know.
Attention Cloud9 shoppers, the store will be closing soon.
Now we can just do
short
our
episode.
Yeah, it says we can do our closeout. What is there any other final thoughts you have on this or anything?
No, not really. Just, I mean, I don't remember much about watching it until now. Like, I don't remember a lot of the scene. I remember Glenn trying to do like the gay wedding thing. I remember that plot, but I don't remember a lot of the...
With that actor from Outsourced.
Yeah, the guy who played... I don't know his name, but the guy who played Gupta in Outsourced. Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors because I loved him in that show, and he's also been in some other things too.
Yeah, Parvish China.
Yeah, he's a really... I like his acting style.
Yeah, he played half of the gay couple in this episode. Character's name was Russell in the episode, and then you had Brian Safi as Andy, his better half.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting episode. I thought, I liked the revelation. I mean, like I said, my favorite thing is like the revelation where you get these different layers like characters where people aren't so black and white. Like with Amy, finding out that, Amy, this kind of goody-goody sort of character, knows how to shoot a gun.
Like really good.
Yeah.
Like she just puts the clip in and everything and just starts firing away like no.
And then you get Glenn, this overly Christian dude who is very accepting of gay people.
It was very odd.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then you also get sometimes it also I think was kind of interesting too in a way that even with Garrett and his revelation that he's all about like traditional weddings.
Right. Like
in a way that's kind of almost surprising.
Like knows about fashion or cares about fashion. Like because he usually doesn't really care.
I do like that reminded me too though. I have another part that I liked was towards the beginning of the episode where Garrett has a regular white dress and a wedding dress, and he's like regular white dress $30, wedding dress $200. Does this have cocaine in it or something?
Yeah, that's right.
I just thought that was funny.
That was good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's basically what I do like how the thing with this show is nobody's stereotypical. There's multi layers to people throughout the years, and it kind of from one episode, and they brought that in really really soon. There's a lot of character development and layers to the characters, which a lot of shows you kind of get people set in stone, and that's who they are, and they don't really change or do, because like in reality, sure, you have kind of like stereotypes or archetypes of people in your life, but nobody's 100% the same all the time. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting where it's more reality, in my opinion, than a lot of shows. Kind of reminds me of The Office, which Justin Spitzer wrote on too, where, none of those characters were, you'd find out things about Dwight that you didn't expect or, things like that on that show. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we're about done here. Basically, I think the store is now closed.
It's closed, sorry.
Thank you, folks. Folks. Yes. Okay. The store is now closed.
See you in the morning, I guess.
Yes.
We open at 6. So was it 7?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the Super Story Podcast, a Superstore fan podcast.
A Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.